Hello, it has been a while. It has been a while. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, awesome. Since we last spoke, you're still doing the music thing, but now you're selling mac and cheese out of a truck. Well, that sounded creepy. That's not. No, but you're over here collecting side quests. Like you're living the real life Spinal Tap. You're now a
That's
mac
right.
and cheese.
That's right. Yeah.
How did you get into that?
Well, a few years ago, I was at work complaining about my job, and I said, I'm just going to quit my job and sell hot dogs on the side of the road. And a coworker was like, "You won't do that." I was like, "You don't think I will?" He's like, "No, you won't." I was like, "Watch me." So, like, that following month was the fair, and I did a hot dog stand at the fair. I took a week off from work and did a hot dog stand. And it worked out great. I made really good money doing it, and it was fantastic. I went back to work for a couple years and kind of just forgot about it. But then, my wife and I were just like trying to figure out, with me working 50, 60 hours a week and her working full time, like something's got to give. So I just brought up the whole food truck thing again, and she said, do it. So I did it. I went from welding for 20 years to selling mac and cheese out of a trailer. I was gonna
You're
do I
living
was
the American dream.
Yeah, right.
Dude, I think it's awesome what you're doing there, the whole retro Mac. Do you, how do you
Yeah, I
do
wanted to
that?
brand it. I didn't want to just like I was kind of up in the air about what I wanted to sell, what I wanted to do, and just thinking about like when I was younger, like I would come home from school. I lived with my grandmother, and first thing I would do is come home, do my homework, and then I would go play some video games, and she would make mac and cheese as like a snack, and whatever cheese she had in the fridge is what she used to make it with, and that's kind of how. I mean, obviously, I have like a set like flavor profile for the cheese and everything, so it's not different all the time, but it's like I wanted to capture that feeling of when you were young, you know what I mean? So that's why I went with the retro vibe, and it's working out really well.
See, I remember when I was young, one of my earliest memories involves a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese and Yoshi Story on a nice, crisp Monday
Oh yeah.
morning. The old Nintendo 64. What was your first video game? Your
My
earliest
first
video game?
the earliest one that I can remember is playing um the original Mario on Nintendo, for sure. Yeah, and that was, and then Mario 2 and then Mario 3 and then got a Sega Genesis after that, and a Sega Game Gear. It was like the portable, like Sega's version of the Game Boy, and it was just from then on I was a gamer for a long time.
I was big into I watched my brothers play, but I didn't start really gaming until the Nintendo 64 came out. And we had Yoshi Story, Mario Kart, Super Mario
Yeah.
64, which I will argue is still the best game ever released.
Oh, one of the best. One of the hands down best. And the Turok franchise is my favorite on Nintendo 64. That was fantastic, fantastic series.
The only thing that beats it to me, there's two games that come very close, and that's Banjo Kazooie and I still haven't beat that fucking game. And and Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah, great game.
That game is fucking fantastic. I'm not even into modern gaming very much. Now that you can go online, I'm like, I don't want to play with other people online. I'd rather go in person.
I did for a little while, like the first, like when the Call of Duties came out, like early, like Xbox and Xbox 360. I used to play online a lot, but as I got older and started having kids, like I started slowly like getting rid of like things that were taking up my time. It was like I always say this, like for each kid, I gave up, one thing. Like I used to golf a lot too. I used to golf like 40 times a year in the summertime, and then after the boys were born, I stopped doing that so I could spend more time, because I couldn't stop working, 50, 60 hours a week. So you got to give up some things, and gaming and golfing and stuff like that was a few of the things that I kind of like let let slide so that I could be more present. at home,
Well, now that you're your own boss, you can take up golfing again, which is very
Yeah.
which is very
Yeah,
interesting.
actually me and my youngest son went golfing not too long ago. Yeah.
That's interesting to me because golfing has become a very rock and roll sport because you've got
Yeah.
Alice Cooper who golfs, you've got all these rock guys who golf. Like, why do you think that is?
I think out of all the sports, golf is, I mean, don't get me wrong, it can be a bit of a rage baiting type game when you're not playing like to your best of your ability. But it's one of those sports where it's just like there's no, every sport has like a time limit, a crunch time, and it's like that's how life is. Life is always crunch time, like down to the last second. Golf is one of the only sports where it's like slow and take your time. And I think that that has a lot to do with, it's like fishing, you know, it's you go out on the course and you take your time and have a good time, a few beers, and it's a good relaxing sport while also being active.
See, I enjoy mini putt putt, but I've never been that big into regular golf. I don't know if it's just because my patience, because I'm so used to fast, 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 and get the
Yeah,
hell
yeah,
out of there.
that's how life is. It's always fast, fast, fast. That's why golf is so cool. It slows you down, dude. I'm a putt putt fiend, man.
Me too. I'm good at it sometimes, and I don't even know how I'm good at it. It's just I'll hit that ball and it'll go in that hole, and I'm like, I didn't even try. What the fuck happened?
We would go, like when we were younger, we would go to Myrtle Beach on vacation. That's all I wanted to do was go to every single putt putt course in Myrtle Beach. That was all
Wow.
ever wanted to do.
You've been big into golf for a while then.
Yeah, yeah. Ever since I was young, my dad got me into it. He got me into a lot of things. He's the reason why I play guitar, why I've been in a band for so long. Like, yeah,
How is Theriaca doing? You guys just released a new single recently, and
we're
it's
doing
it's
good, man.
rocking.
Yeah, yeah. We recorded two new songs in the studio, and we just released one, and we're gonna release the other one here in a couple months, a month or so.
Oh
So
man,
yeah,
you're
it's
making
just
my nipples hard just thinking about it.
that's another good thing about being your own boss. You know what I mean? You can spend more time doing the things that you love to do. I can spend, more time with music and stuff and not feel so, I don't know, feel so bad about it, I guess, with being, having kids and a family and stuff. It kind of weighs on you when you're spending a lot of time doing stuff like that. And it's now that I can work my own hours and still making, pretty much the same amount of money that I was making before, but with less hours. It's nice. It's
I'm
nice for sure.
very proud of you, and I'm very happy to hear about your success because it is a big risk
Oh yeah.
to
Oh
go
yeah.
out and do your own thing. And I've been meaning to come out and try your mac and cheese. That shit looks delicious.
Come try it, man. It's good.
Send me some. Send it in the mail. No, I don't
Yeah.
think so. That'd be gross, wouldn't it?
Oh man.
What is your favorite mac and cheese that you make?
Oh man, I love the steak stuff. I do. There's two. One I do the one that's called the Master Chief. It's steak and peppers and onions with a garlic aioli over top, and then I also do a one called the Bomber Mac. It's named after Bomberman, and it's basically like a taco on top of mac and cheese. It's taco beef, cheese, pico de gallo, and sour cream. It's good.
Combine the two. Oh,
Ooh, like
yeah.
a taco cheesesteak.
Yeah, that's what.
How
Yeah.
how how high are you right now?
I'm not, but I do have an edible I can take right now. Dude,
My biggest seller has been it's called the Spyro's Revenge, and it's barbecue chicken or buffalo chicken on top of mac and cheese. That's like the biggest seller for sure.
dude, I bet your biggest clientele are the stoners because
Oh,
gaming and mac and cheese.
oh yeah, yep, for sure.
If it wasn't an expensive market, you could infuse them.
I've been thinking about trying to set up at one of the dispensaries around here. I'd probably make a killing. They wouldn't have to drive nowhere. They could get they could they could get their food and their medical all in the same spot.
Dude, my medical dispensary that I was going to until they opened a closer one, right next door, not across the street, right next door was a Taco Bell.
See,
So,
this is yep, yep. They're strategic about it, you know. Where are we going to make the most money?
get your medicine. Their drive-through was always packed too, bro.
Oh,
That is insane. You need to do that though. Go right to a dispensary, set up. I'm sure they'd let you. How do you go
I'm sure there's
about
probably
find?
some sort of laws and regulation. You know, when it comes to like the world of medical marijuana in this country, is I'm sure there's some sort of law or regulation that would like not make it legal for me to be able to do that. But I mean, I can always try.
Hey, all you can do is try. All the worst I can say is no.
I should just go there and set up. Just apologize later.
Sometimes sometimes it's easier to apologize than ask permission.
Yeah,
Sometimes-
exactly. Exactly.
How do you find places to set up? Do you just like set up in public places where you know you're legally allowed, or do you ask the owners, or is it mixed?
It's I just kind of like look around, like when I'm driving around or when I'm out and about, and I kind of like look at where traffic's going and look at like the businesses around the area that get a lot of traffic, and I just reach out to the owners of the facility or the lot and see if I could set up. And I haven't had any problems yet at all with anybody saying no at all. Everybody's been like really cool about it. I just set up at the music store in Wintersville, Center of Music and Art today, and I'll be there again tomorrow. And yeah, I just reach out to any space that looks like would be a good spot for me, and I set up and promote it. It's been working out really well so far.
Killer. Do you plan on just staying in that area, or do you plan on branching out to more of like Belmont County and
Yeah, I
like?
definitely want to. Yeah, the whole plan is to be able to, I decided to go with a mobile unit so that I can go wherever I want. Now, there's a little bit of red tape when it comes to like bouncing around different counties because you have to have specific like certifications and stuff for each county in every state. So, like, if you wanted to go like on tour with your food truck, you would have to get like in every single county in every single state, and they all have different regulations, different rules, different laws. So it's kind of like it's a little confusing, but yeah, I definitely plan to branch out. I've been to a couple different. I've been over in West Virginia, and I plan to go, up north and down south. I'd like to go down to Carolina where my brother lives, like during the winter months, and do like a couple weeks down there.
Dude, that's weird to me how laws work like that because we live in
Yeah.
the same country, but even
Yep.
counties have different laws. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Like I'm in Jefferson County, and by law, all that is required of me is to have a Class K um, fire extinguisher and a regular fire extinguisher. In Allegheny County in PA, you have to have a fire suppression system. So, like your Class K, your grease fire extinguisher has to be hooked up to a system that you can pull, and it'll just blow out on all of your equipment. And it's like $4,000 to get that installed. Now, Jefferson County doesn't require it; they just require you to have a Class K fire extinguisher. But Allegheny County requires you to have the whole system, which is crazy to me because in a confined area like that, if you have like just like a small grease fire or whatever, you don't want to pull that lever and destroy all your equipment. You know what I mean? You just want to isolate that fire. So, but it's just like little problems like that that I've noticed, like with certain counties are sticklers about certain things. So, but I will say this: that the people that I have had to deal with when it comes to like the regulations and certifications, they've all been super cool, super nice. They want you to succeed. You know what I mean? They want you to do well. It's not like it's not like an audit situation where like they're trying to screw you over. They want you to do well. So they've been very nice and very cool and helped me along the way. So it's in the community too, like the food trailer community. Like there's probably 10 or 15 trucks in my direct area, and they're all super cool people, super nice. That if they've got an event and they think that I would fit on it, they reach out to me and say, "Hey, I think you do good here." And it's like a give and take type thing. It's a cool relationship that I've developed with with the other companies and stuff that roll around here too.
Dude, that's awesome. I do know of a lot of like weed festivals that happen in Belmont County. If you get your license and are able to get
Yeah,
up to there, because I don't know what the regulations are, I can reach out to some
Belmont and
people.
Jefferson County are pretty much the same. I've dealt with Belmont too. It's like just right across the border. They're pretty much the same.
See, it's weird though to me because it seems like a lot of places make up these laws just to benefit corporations that can afford this shit.
Oh yeah, and it has a lot to do with like lobbying too. Like I'm sure that Allegheny County, like I'm not, I'm just speculating, but like why they would want you to put a suppression system in for such a small thing. It feels like the fire department is involved. Like, hey, you should tell all these trucks, we have, 1,000 food trucks in Allegheny County every year. That's $500,000 worth of profit for the fire department. Or, these companies to go in and have to install all this stuff. So I'm sure that there's lobbying involved for sure.
Yeah, kind of like how a lot of schools do like the whole levy shit to try to pay for shit for schools when that's what our taxes are for anyway.
Yeah, right, right. Exactly, exactly.
Like, my God. I just wish they would just leave us the hell alone and let us run our own businesses. Like, I get it. Like, some regulations are needed, testing on food,
Yeah.
all that, but they go too far.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They go
They definitely do sometimes for sure. I mean, you have to have. I mean, in a free society like we are in, you have to have some sort of regulation, especially when it comes to food. Like, if anybody and everybody can just like set up on the side of the road and serve whatever they want. I mean, come on. Have you seen some of the videos of some of these places of like the way they handle food and how they serve food? And it's just like I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean?
we would
You have to have some sort of regulation, but yeah, they definitely do go a little too far sometimes.
we would end up like having one of them wet food markets like they have in like Japan and China. I think it's China, the fucking wet food market where they sell bat and shit. Like
Yeah, and then like the people that work there are just like touching everything with their hands and then wiping their face and blowing their nose and just putting their hands all in the food and then they hand it to you and want you to. Some of them they even just like shove it right in your mouth. It's like, fuck out of get out of here.
if it was handled properly, what would your limit on what kind of food you would eat? Like, would you not eat a bat or a giraffe or whatever? Would you be open for anything as long as it's regulated and tested?
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not going to make me sick, I'll try anything twice.
Like, we'll be over here like Ozzy Osbourne eating bats and shit.
There's this food truck in Toronto that does alligator and um all kinds of different like exotic food out of their food truck. It's pretty cool.
I don't think I've had gator, but I did have
Frog
rattlesnake.
legs. I've never had snake.
When I was in Arizona, I tried rattlesnake because it's a big thing out there, and so is scorpion. I've not tried scorpion, but
I've
I
had the
did
little
try fried.
scorpion candies, the little suckers, the little scorpion suckers.
See, I've had
Yep.
those. I take that back. I've had those and I've had the small ones, but I mean, like, they would make a fried rattlesnake. No, I mean, fried scorpion, and they would batter it and like actual cuisine type. I've not tried that, but I did try rattlesnake. It was pretty good. It
There is
tastes
one thing that good.
good. No, you go ahead,
There
bud.
is there is one thing that I probably wouldn't like taste. It's like a normal delicacy. Is there's some like tribes in Africa that eat like mosquito burgers. Have you ever seen those? Where they
Yes.
go out and collect like millions of mosquitoes and then they pound it together and make it a patty? No way. There's no way you're getting me on to eat that.
If you didn't know what it was, you would.
I mean, yeah, if I was starving, I would, I guess.
What's the weirdest thing you have ate?
I mean, I've had alligator, I've had frog legs, I did eat a worm one time when I was a kid. Tasted like cold spaghetti.
I don't know if I would say the worm's weird, but I wouldn't say the other things are weird. Like
No, frog legs and alligator is pretty common.
I would probably say for me is Rocky Mountain oysters.
Oh, bull testicles.
Yeah, it
I
was
got a
nuts.
funny, I got a fun, dude, funny story. I we played a festival a couple years ago in Arizona, and my aunt and uncle, who's our drummer, Bryce's parents, like made the trip all the way out there to come see us play, but they drove separate. And we all like as a band, we stopped at the Big Texan, and oh, it's in Texas, but I forget the Amarillo, Texas. It's like they're the place that has the 72-ounce steak. So we all stopped and ate there, and then we told his parents that they should stop and eat there too, and they did. And my uncle Bruce got the Rocky Mountain oysters, thinking thinking that they were actual oysters, but they weren't. They were bull testicles. He literally ordered them and ate them. He didn't realize
Did
they
they
were
tell
them
him?
until after he ate them. No, he didn't know about it until he got there. He's like, I had the Rocky Mountain oysters. They didn't taste like oysters. And I'm like, it's because they're not.
What was his reaction?
He was just like, well, whatever.
They were pretty good. I mean, they weren't bad. They were-
I've had
I mean,
tongue. I've had cow tongue before. But I mean, I guess that's. I mean, I wouldn't say that's weird. A lot of people have had that too.
I was offered, I think it was cow brain or something like that.
I know that like monkey brain is like I've seen videos of like I don't know what tribe it is, but they get a monkey and they put it under the table with its head above the table, and they all take turns like knocking on it, and they peel the skull back, and they all eat like the brain. It's like, man, I can't like I I'm a meat eater, you know what I mean? But when I see shit like that, it's like, oh man,
Bro, that's
makes you want
almost that's like one step next to necrophilia. Like that's pretty
so cruel,
that's
so
pretty
cruel.
that's
I
pretty close to our ancestors though, bro. Like I couldn't
know.
eat something that's closely related to me. Like, I don't, that's how HIV started, wasn't it? Somebody eating monkey.
Yeah,
No, from what I heard, and this is a crazy story. Allegedly, the whole HIV thing started in like the 1800s. Some Scandinavian man made love to a chimp.
I thought that was like an airline pilot. That's the story that I read. Was an
We,
airline pilot.
we all heard stories about, and they spread kind of like Marilyn Manson sucking his own penis. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
or like the girl in high school who got a hot dog stuck up her. You know, they're every high school has that story.
oh, ours was a 2 liter bottle because we were
Oh man,
classy. We were classy like that. It was
oh man,
crazy though. I was not a victim of it, but however, I guess there was photos that was sent around my high school of this chick with a liter bottle up in her, and like the cops got involved, and like people showed like I don't even know FBI whatever showed up and had to give us a full speech on like CP because we were kids. So it was considered that, and I'm like, well, good thing I
wow,
wasn't caught up in that bullshit. Like, wow,
man.
like
Yeah,
fuck.
that's why when we got our boys' phones, we we took their AirDrop off so that they couldn't get like because that was a big thing when we first when the boys when my sons got their phones was like kids would like airdrop random shit to everybody's phones, and it was a lot of times was like pretty vile shit that shouldn't be on a kid's phone. So when we got their phones, the first thing we did was disable the airdrop so that that
Well,
wouldn't happen.
we as I'm not a parent, but like our generation as parents, because you're not much, you're the similar age than me. We came from a time frame of like when the internet was fresh. So like we've seen some vile shit at their age. So we know what the internet is capable of.
Yeah, yeah. We're like the only generation who's experienced like old school lifestyle and new school lifestyle. Like the
Yeah.
generation younger than us has no idea what it's like to ride your bike for 10 hours, you know what I mean? And your parents not know where you are. And the generation, older than us don't even know how to use an iPhone. So we're like the only generation who like grew up in both sides. You ever think about that?
I have thought about that and I find it weird because I find myself very entwined in like technology. And it's weird because I remember when I was even in high school, the internet was something you went to after your day was over or right when your day began, but you had a whole day of not talking to people online. You had to interact with real people, and then you got
Yeah.
on MySpace when you got when you got done with
Yep.
your day.
Yeah. Yep.
And and it's crazy to me because it's fun to tell people that didn't experience it what those days was like, but it's kind of sad that we, in a way, that we allowed social media to get where it's at, because we left something like MySpace for what is now Facebook. And even though it's an outdated platform, it was very ahead of its time. You literally could design your own profile like it was a website.
Yeah. Yeah. You put your own
Like,
music, your own flash and stuff on it. Yeah.
I think the future of social media should be, and the next thing that takes Facebook out would be something like MySpace, but more updated, where each person has their own individual website type profile, and you can add them and socialize that way.
Oh yeah.
Where
That would.
yeah, you're in control
Yeah.
of your own
You're.
monetization.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. That would be sweet. I miss MySpace, dude. Remember the. Remember like the top 8 and top 10 fights you would get in with your friends. Like, why am I not in your top 8?
Well, why is John 2? Why am I
Yeah.
3?
Yeah.
Like, fuck, dude. Like, just let me
My,
live.
and MySpace was so great for artists because it didn't choke anybody. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, like with social media, everything is like the algorithms pick and choose who's gonna, see what. Back then, it was like you were the master of your own domain. Basically, you saw what you wanted to see. Nobody else picked what you wanted to see. You saw what you wanted to see. It was so
You
great
had
for
to
me.
individually click on the profile and see it for yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
If
Exactly.
I'm not mistaken, though, there was a bulletin board of like blog entries. It wasn't
Yes.
statuses, but it was blog entries.
Yeah, and there was different subjects and stuff you could. It was like basically like Facebook groups. Like it had like different. Yeah.
It was
When it.
I personally like the format of not statuses like we have now, but blogs. Because they made you click on it, there was a lot more information there. You could get your point across more, and it was a lot easier for, like you said, musicians, because you could put your music on MySpace if you wanted to. And what's sad is MySpace became a music streaming platform. I don't know if you're aware. And
Yeah.
then now it's
Yeah.
just dead. MySpace
Yep.
is pretty much, you can make a profile, you can go on it, but you can't do anything.
Yeah. And nobody wants to go to a website anymore. You know what I mean? So like the fact that it's you can't access MySpace unless you go to the web. You know what I mean? They don't have an app. So like I think that if they turned it back into an app form, I think that it could have a bit of a resurgence. You know what I mean? But
I
nobody's gonna open up their browser and go to www.myspace.com. You know what I mean? They want to click on that widget. They want to click on that app.
Hey,
What's that?
we
Yeah,
would.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Well, what's crazy to me is like, I've realized as a content creator and a podcaster, you know how hard it is to convince your friends to try out another social media platform that isn't
Oh yeah.
Facebook or
Yep.
Instagram. I told my friends about a social media platform. I'm like, hey, you guys are tired of your stuff being taken down. You're tired of the censoring. Here's an app that doesn't do that. And they're like, oh, but I'm like, you complain day in and day out. Here's another thing that fixes that, and you won't make that change.
Yep.
And there's an
Oh yeah.
app, and they have an app. So like, what are we doing?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Well, I actually
I,
think I discovered what the future of social media is, but a lot of people might not make that switch. Ever heard of the Fediverse?
no.
What it is there's different social media platforms technically. There's Mastodon, which is the big one. It's like their Twitter. And then they have one that's like Facebook and one that's like YouTube, whatever. Now each independent platform doesn't operate as a platform. They have servers within that individuals control and can invite people into, and they can make accounts. Now, each this is where things get crazy. Each server interacts with one another, so of course you can follow people on different servers. But also, each platform interacts with one another, so you can follow somebody who's on Mastodon with somebody who's on like their Instagram, no problem, and you see all of their posts and vice versa. Just the format looks like how they want the format to look.
Really? Is it like a blockchain setup?
Depends on which one you choose. You have. Did you say blockchain or blockchain?
Blockchain.
It,
Is it like built on like a blockchain?
I'm not sure. I'm not entirely certain. You'd have to look into it. But the reason why a lot of the older generation wouldn't want to do this, and this is why the younger generation stays on Facebook because they want to stay in contact with. There's more of a reach, is because you have to find which server you want. You have to make an account on that server. It's a lot of process instead
Okay.
of just
Gotcha.
creating an account.
Gotcha.
But they kind of found a way around that because you can go to the individual websites and they will find a server for you, or you can
Oh.
individually pick.
What's it called again?
They call it the Fediverse. There's a whole list of ones. There's Mastodon, which is their form of Twitter. A lot of people left when Elon Musk bought it, and they went to Mastodon or they went to Blue Sky, which is not related at all. But it's decentralized. Pretty much you're your own police. You can pick whichever server you want to go to, whatever rules they have, or lack of rules. And it just runs that way. And if you don't like the server you're in, you are in control of your own content. So you can actually download your entire profile and move it.
Oh, really? Wow.
And
That's interesting.
Facebook has implemented that. Threads, X's version of Twitter, is now on the Fediverse. You can actually interact with people on that platform through a Facebook platform. And if you go to your Facebook profile, you can download all of your stuff off of your Facebook profile if you choose to, but they're not advertising.
Really? Wow. I know
They're
that you can
trying to,
download like your data and stuff from there, but
yep, you can download all of that. And it's crazy because now they're trying to get into the Fediverse because they know that the corporate mindset isn't working anymore. So they're trying to get their feet in there before it grows, is what my opinion is.
take it over. That's what they're
Yeah.
gonna do.
And I don't think it's possible. I don't, every time I hear taking over, I think of like WCW.
Dude, you remember WCW Nitro on Nintendo 64? Did you ever play it?
Yes, I do.
Dude, the block bodies, dude, so on, so good.
Dude, when we were kids, we were like, oh, this game's amazing. Look at these graphics. And then
I
now that we're
know
older,
it can't get any better than this. You're playing NHL '94 on Sega Genesis. You're like, oh my god, look, you can actually see the puck. It can't get any better than this. And now we're like, now you can play in real life. Basically, it's crazy.
dude, I wasn't big into sports other than wrestling, but I did have an NHL game. And I loved it because they had like an angry bar, and if you made the other player too angry, you break out into a wrestling match. Like you could punch them. I don't know which game that was. It was
I don't
great.
remember. I remember a game for Sega called Mutant Hockey. Have you ever played that? It's
No, I
like
have
it's
not.
regular hockey, but all the teams were like monsters or aliens and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. I would love for them to do like a remaster of that game with like today's graphics would be crazy. Can you imagine like playing hockey as like this big evil like monster? It would be sweet.
Be amazing. You know what other game I would love for them to remake with modern graphics? Ever play Booger Man, a pick and flick adventure?
No,
It was a
no.
side scroller for the Sega Genesis, and his name was Booger Man. And his superpower, he would flick boogers at the enemies, and then he would fart on them. Now this sounds delinquent, I know, but if you eat a chili pepper, you can fly with your flatulence into the sky. It's a great game, though. I thought it was clever.
Whatever happened to those kinds of games? Now that's like everything's either a shooter game or sports, basically. There's no originality in video games anymore.
because people, and it's similar to movies, people don't want to take the chance on their art. So it's all watered down, stale corporate stuff that they know people will buy.
Yeah, regurgitated. Yeah.
Yeah, the last game that I viewed as a chance game, and it's weird because it was a corporation that did it, was for Xbox. It was called Burger King, and it was that sneak game where he would hide behind shit and he would give them burgers. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I don't remember that game.
Or the game Destroy All Humans, I think was a chance
Oh
game.
yeah, such a great game, dude. That was such a
It
great
was
game.
great. But another good game, dude, Beavis and Butthead, the video game. I don't know if you've ever played it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That I was dude Beavis and Butthead and like the Simpsons games on Nintendo were my shit when I was younger. Dude, how about the South Park game for Nintendo 64? Have you ever played that one?
Oh, was that the one where you threw snowballs and shit?
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a great game.
It was during the era when every game was trying to be like Mario Kart, but like shoot at each other, and like they were starting to bring in shooter games and stuff. So like you had a lot of that. If I'm not mistaken, didn't South Park have like a racing game at one time?
I don't know if they did or not. I just remember the South Park game for Nintendo 64.
Bro, you know what they need to do since we're talking about this kind of stuff? They need to release a sequel to Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh, dude. Yes. Yes. Dude, it's like Crazy Taxi for Dreamcast, you know what I mean? But like with Simpsons characters, that would be cool if they did a remake of like, or yeah, sequel. That would be cool.
If they do a sequel though, they should do it more so in the style of like Grand Theft Auto.
Where you can run around as Bart Simpson, like in a free world, dude. That would be awesome, dude.
Right.
That would be awesome. Which
Did you
Simpsons
see
game was it? Where
Good.
which Simpsons game was it? Was it Simpsons? Oh, what was it called? But Bart like fought against aliens in the game. I can't remember which one it was called. But that would be cool if they remade that game in like a real world where like Bart Simpson's fighting aliens. That would be pretty sweet.
Since we're talking about Simpsons games, I don't remember the name of that one, but my first introduction to the Simpsons was a Sega Genesis game. It was called Krusty's Funhouse. You played Bart Simpson and you're stuck in Krusty's Funhouse. And you had to try to get out. Right. And it wasn't even a game modeled after the show. It was modeled after a
No.
side character.
Yeah, yeah. A whole entire video game based on one side character.
That is insane to me. However, I do have to give credit because I am thinking about getting a game system just for one game. I heard that they did do an open game, like an open planet game, open world game for Star Wars.
Oh, really?
Yes, I don't know if they're working on it or if it's done, but they're doing an open world Star Wars game.
Well, I do know that I did read a thing the other day. I can't remember the name of the game, but it's an open world game, but it's like a space, like you can build your own rocket and you go to different planets and you can habitat like different planets, build a house and stuff. It's like I forget the name of the game. It's like galaxies, dude. It's like never ending, like Grand Theft Auto, but like never ending. But
Really?
I did read, can't remember the name of the game, but I did read that they put a update on that game where everything is Star Wars related. So is that the one that you're thinking of, or are they making a whole Star Wars game?
No, according to what I have found, this one it actually already came out. It's called Star Wars Outlaws. It is for the PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox Series X, XS, or the Nintendo Switch 2.
And it's an
Uh,
open world game.
yeah, I do believe. Let me double check and make sure I'm reading this correctly.
Do you
Because
have a
that's the.
do you have a computer with you, like in front of
Yep,
you?
it's an open world environment.
Nice. Do me a favor and look up the game that I'm thinking of. Just like Google search like open world space game. I'm sure it'll pop up. Yeah, that's it. No Man's Sky. I did read that No Man's Sky was going to release an update where everything turned into like Star Wars characters, but it might have just been like an AI generated thing that I saw. Who knows anymore? You can't tell. I mean,
Dude,
you can almost not tell right now. It's bad.
I'm scared because AI could and has been used as a weapon for war, politics, and now politicians can say off the wall shit and be like, "That wasn't me. That was AI."
Yeah, yep. And they could be the ones that are making the AI stuff to do that. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
like
like fuck.
it's
But I
insane.
read somewhere that they're working on safety protocols where the legalities are that you have to say that you are using AI, and if you don't, you can face legal repercussions. However, like, what's stopping leaders from doing it and lying?
Right, exactly.
Because I don't know how true it is. Take it with a grain of salt. But I read somewhere that during the war between Russia and Ukraine, that Vladimir Putin broadcasted a video of the leader of Ukraine surrendering. And later on, he's like, no, I didn't. That wasn't me. They don't know if it was a Russian hacker or if it was the leader himself, or I don't even know if it actually happened. But I did read that somewhere.
That's what I'm saying. They can create that stuff and put it out there and then say, "Oh, it wasn't me, it was somebody else." You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's just shit.
that is crazy. And I don't even know if I trust in person. I love your shirt, by the way. Your camera fell, and all I saw was support live. And I know it says support live music, but it looked like you had a huge support for the 90s band live. That's
Well, I mean, dude, I have support for them too. I love that band.
dude, I got to see them live and it was amazing.
Yeah, I saw them at Rock on the Range a few years ago before it turned into Sonic Temple.
I was there.
Were you there? They played like four bands before Korn did. It was crazy. Like live was
Oh,
in
no, no, no.
between,
That's a different year then.
or maybe it was Tool. Who was it?
Yeah, that was Toll that year.
Yeah, well, Korn played this.
I
Korn
think.
played too, but they played different nights because I was there the whole weekend.
Yes. Yes, the
So
year that Live was there was the year Chris Cornell passed.
yes, yes, and they had Corey Taylor come out, and he did. He
Yes.
got up and did. Yep, yep.
Live
Yeah, dude,
ended
they
up
had.
doing more. Live ended up doing more songs because of Chris Cornell's passing. They were technically the headliner, and then Corey came out.
Yes, yes. And then I have to dig in my Facebook page because I have a video of a mosh pit while live was playing.
They're not a
I
washable
know,
band.
but there was still people. There's a mosh pit right in the middle, right for the circle. Oh, not a mosh pit; it was a circle pit. But still, I mean, it's all the same thing. But I was like, I took a video of it. I was like, there's a mosh pit in the middle of a live while they're playing live. It's on my Facebook somewhere. Like I have to dig for it, but
You know what's
they were
really cool?
fantastic.
What's really cool is Rock on the Range has a lot of historical things that have happened. Like that year, that was the first, if I'm not mistaken, the first live show Live did with the original singer in like 15 years.
Yeah, yeah. The very first show, and then they did a tour after that, I believe so.
Yeah, and they've had a lot of mishaps too, like the Soundgarden thing. He passed literally the night prior. I
Yeah,
received the news the day of, and it's just wild to me that the festival that close has had so many bands reunite there. So many, so many historical things. It's like it's something to be proud of Ohio about because
yeah,
let's be honest, most of Ohio, the only thing there is to do is like certain types of drugs. Like if we're gonna be honest,
yeah,
we
yeah. You're exactly right, dude. You're exactly right.
we need a resurgence in the music scene around here because I know the people that are listening from different parts of the world won't understand what I mean, but the area I lived in had a huge music scene when I was in high school. They had venues. They would have bands playing in gymnasiums.
Yeah,
And now it seems like all the venues are closing, no new ones are opening. And the music scene moved to Pittsburgh or to
yeah. There's
Cleveland or
Yep.
Columbus.
There's no music venues in. this area. I mean, Wheeling has it happening. Wheeling's got it going on. They've got a few good venues that are building up down there, but other than that, outside of that, there's no music venues. Like there's bars that have cover bands, and we've managed to like kind of break that cycle with a few different bars around the area. Like we just played at the Irish Pub in Weirton. It's a bar. It's not a music venue. It's a bar that has live music sometimes, and but they usually have your typical bar bands that play what people want to hear. But we've kind of like tried to we're trying to bring it back. We do like we do this series called Bring Back Live, and we find a space and we put on a show. We bring some out of state bands, and it's been doing really well so far. But even with that, like the few places that we've done that at, like we'll bring in 400 people, and it'd be the most money that this place has ever had, and then they don't want to have us back because it's just like that old generation style people that still own these buildings that are in their 70s and 80s, and they don't want to have it. It's like, you don't want to make money because
Yeah,
that's
like
how you
it
make
doesn't
money.
it doesn't make sense to me personally, and I'm glad you brought that. It's fun talking to you because the point I was going to make was going to lead into you talking about Bring Back Live. So like you're kind of on the same wavelength, but we need stuff like that, and I think we need more. I know people don't really listen to radio anymore, but we need local radio. We need, instead of these ones that's playing like nothing against the band, but like playing AC/DC and Metallica all day. Like
It's
there's
all Clear
local.
Channel. They're choked. They can only Clear Channel has a monopoly on radio. They put out and say this is what you can play and this is what you can't play. If you play anything that's not on this list, then we're going to take you off of our platform. iHeartRadio. It's just like it. All the major record labels and stuff, they have a choke on everything when it comes to like mass. Even on Spotify, you know what I mean. They have control over what gets seen and what doesn't get seen. It's crazy.
See, there is a cure for that. And I've got friends that do it, and I'm trying to find their hookups, but there are actual online radio stations now, and you can go on apps and stuff and listen to the radio on your phone, and they play nothing but up and coming artists, and local artists, and that's where I want everyone to go. Find one of them stations, support local independent radio show hosts and stuff, because I get it. Radio is, you can pick your own song now on the internet. However, radio has always been, because you used to be able to pick up records anyway, radio has always been about discovering something that you wouldn't hear if it wasn't put in your ear or not recommended to you on Spotify. That's how you branch out and you see new artists. I'm tired of the loop of listen to this artist that you've heard a million times. Like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, exactly. My buddy Randy Hollenbach has his own radio station, Music Roundtable, and his own YouTube channel that does like he plays all like shit that you would like. Obviously, the music's everywhere. Like you can go on his station and find that music being played on Spotify or iTunes or whatever, but you would never find it on Spotify or iTunes, but you find it there on that platform. There's all kinds of great ones. Yeah.
Send that to me or send a link, and I will give them a shout out in the
Yeah, for
description.
sure. For sure.
I'm trying to. Oh, I found it. It's called the Sound 228 is the one that I actually interviewed them on here previously, and they do internet radio. They do up and coming artists. I think I sent you their information to play
Yeah,
Theriaca
yeah.
on there. Which I am very proud that I'm one of the few podcasters that pronunciates your band's name properly. So I will say it as much as I can.
We've gotten used to it, man. We were just used to it. We knew we were going to have
Theriaca.
that trouble too.
But they do internet radio, they do live streaming podcasts, they do a magazine, they promote. So if you're an up and coming band, send music. to them. They are on Facebook. If they enjoy what they hear, they'll play you. If they don't, they
Yeah.
won't. I mean,
Actually, I think we did an interview with them not too long ago when we did that benefit for the flood victims down in Wheeling. They came out and did an interview and put us on one of their magazines.
oh, I don't know if it was them or not because they're all over the place. So it might have been, or it might have been. There's a lot of them.
I
Uh,
could be wrong. I could be wrong.
it might have been Rock Rage Radio. They're in the area.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, because Rock Rage is pretty big too. The Sound they play a lot of interesting stuff, and I've discovered a lot of good artists through them. And Nate, I have to say you're a week late because you could have talked to the singer of Crowbot, but
I know.
we had a Spinal Tap moment.
I know,
But
dude. I'm still like, oh man, I want to like I was so pumped when you told me that. I was like,
he'll
because
be back on.
I that man, I just he's got such a fantastic voice, dude. When we played with them at Jurgles, he blew me away. I couldn't believe that he sounded that good. Like their whole band is fantastic, but like he sticks out for sure. His voice is fantastic.
For those that haven't checked them out, and check out Theriaca too, because these guys are incredible. Crowbot is to me like a modern Led Zeppelin,
Yeah, yeah, yep.
but
But
more
like but they
unique.
have their own
They're
vibe though. Yeah, yeah.
not like some of the bands that are like complete ripoffs of. He has a lot of. You're laughing because you know who I'm referring to,
I
but
know you are.
but they are very much the attitude of like Iggy Pop and the wildness, but the like looks like Lemmy Kilmister's son, and then like they're wild. I was listening to them before that because I saw them at Rock on the Range in 2016. I don't know if you were at that one,
No, I wasn't.
but they opened. I do believe they opened that festival. I could be mistaken. They could have been higher up on the bill, but they're great. Have you listened to the band Cane Hill?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
Fucking love that band.
Dude, there's so many there's so many great fantastic bands out right now that will never get the light of day because of the way the industry is today. And it's like you have everything that you could possibly imagine at your fingertips, right? It's never been like that ever before. Like you used to have to go out and post flyers and like interact with people face to face, but now like you can do that and you can put your stuff out to millions of people, but there's so much at the same time that
Don't you
it
find
always
it?
falls through the cracks.
Don't you find it a bit overwhelming in a way
Very
that
overwhelming. It's so overwhelming that like even myself, like who I'm s- I'm a stickler when it comes to like discovering new music. I'm always trying to listen to new music. But like you're right, it can get so overwhelming sometimes to where like, okay, I just need my 90s playlist for the day. You know what I mean?
well, my issue is like I have so many things that interest me that it makes it 10 times more overwhelming because like I love mythology, but I can't sit there for 10 hours listening to mythology. It's way too much to listen to. And then I have people sending me, "Hey, check out my band," and that's like 40 people. And I'm like, I want to. I love all music, but Jesus. And then I try to get away, and I'm like, what? Okay, I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna listen to music. What the fuck do I play? Because, like you said, everything has to be now nowadays. So we're like, well, I want to listen to this song, and they're like, oh wait. After I'm halfway through this album, I can't even listen to an album anymore. That's how bad my attention span has gotten due to TikTok.
That's why
I'll
we
listen
don't
to
release records no more. We just do singles because you have to stay relevant and consistent. It
yeah,
sucks.
because I'll listen to half an album and I'm like, ooh, what about this new Accept album? And like it's so. I don't think the modern world was built for somebody with ADHD, bro. I don't think I hyperfixate too much for this world.
Yeah. The thing is that like they like back then, it things weren't so easily accessible, but now that it is, it's kind of like catered more towards people with. I think that it's creating more people to have that type of like ADHD mentality because you're always scrolling and then, oh, that was cool. And then you scroll and then you forget about it because you're looking at the next one. Like we don't
Yeah.
retain information anymore
And I
at all
honestly
because it's
think
so fast.
another reason why it's so so overwhelming is because it's mostly free. Unless you have a Spotify paid account, all of it's free. So at the end of the day, back then it was a lot harder. It was easier to focus on one art form because you had to pay for it. So all you had until you were able to get a little bit more money to buy the next one.
Yep. You're
Or
exactly right. You're exactly right. And everybody's reaping the benefits except for the artist. That's the biggest problem.
well, I miss, and I'll be honest, I don't always buy albums because I'm broke. Like I would if I had the money, and I do. When I do have the extra money, I'll buy the album or the merch. I'll buy merch if I can't afford the album. But what I do miss, and it's so great when I finally buy a CD, and some places even sell cassettes still of new bands, but I buy the CD or the vinyl if it's available, and you are able to rip the plastic off, look at the artwork, pull out the sleeve, the full sleeve artwork that you don't get
Yeah.
online. You get just the album art.
Yep. Exactly.
Like I
And
remember,
it was it was an experience. It wasn't just about the music, it was about the experience that you're going through everything with the artist, not just the music, but like they put their time and energy into making a product on top of the music, the artwork, the cassettes, the CDs, the everything was. It's not like that anymore. It's a
see
shame.
my the generation I come from, we went from I saw this slowly change into MP3. I still had CDs, I still had like a Walkman or whatever, but I was listening to MP3 at the same time. So I discovered new music, but then I would download other stuff from them. So I was kind of doing both.
Yeah, we're the only
And
generation that's like that because we went through it, just like everything else. You know what I
I
mean? We're
miss
old
my
school.
Zune. I miss my music players. I miss having it separate from my fucking phone.
Yes, yes, yes. It's its own thing.
Dude, you know how hard it is to get a fucking flip phone nowadays? You have to buy a freaking smartphone. And I'm not complaining because honestly, my smartphone has an amazing camera, so I can use it for content and I can use it to like make content. But let's be honest, I get sidetracked easily. So next thing I know, what is should be a camera. Let's be honest, this thing shouldn't even be a phone. It should be a fucking camera. But it was cheaper to buy this because cameras are expensive. But here I am downloading apps on it and not doing what its intended purpose originally was.
Yeah, right. Right. I got the newer iPhone so that we like when we play shows I can set it up and like record our set and use it for content. And like the whole time I'm setting it up, it's like, oh, if I set it up, then I can't use it to check Facebook. You know what I mean? Because it's over there.
What's crazy is that 9 times out of 10, when I'm looking at my phone going through it and then checking messages, every time I check messages, I don't have any messages. I don't have any messages at all. But the second I decide to take a whole social media break, I got like 9,000 messages.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is like, I know I'm part of the problem because I do it. I fall for the consumer bullshit. I really do. Part of me wishes I could have this be a camera and just for social media, just for like content creation, not talking to people, like just posting shit out there. But no, I see somebody commented a negative thing, and next thing I know, I'm debating about stupid shit for an hour and a half, and I could have just been creating content. Why
Yeah.
do I fall for this
That's why
whole?
you need a second phone with no apps on it
Well,
or just a camera.
you know what I was going to do? I had a dumb phone. I was going to put my SIM card in it and just use that one as calling, and it's the only thing that has service. This only has social media when I have Wi-Fi. That's it. That's the plan I had in my head. I come up with great ideas. Did I execute it? No. I, I did not do any of that. I bought the phone, and the first thing I did was I started downloading apps.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They got you. They got you.
And then I start lying to myself. I'm like, well, what if I need to call my house and I forget the phone number? Like, that's ever going to happen. What if I'm in the woods and I need to know where the nearest Walmart is? Why would I need that?
Why would you be in the woods? We don't go in the woods anymore.
No, I do. That's the one thing I still kind of do. Because let's be honest, I'm a witchy motherfucker. Like, I love nature. You can't tell by looking at me. I love nature, the woods. I love the moon. I love the stars. But do I look at them very long? No, I don't. I don't. Because, oh, look, the moon's beautiful. Let me get a
Yeah, yeah.
picture.
Let me get a picture of it, and then the picture
Let me
doesn't
get
show
a.
any. It's not
Yeah,
even
people.
close.
I put the picture of the moon on Facebook. It looks like a fucking street light.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Like, and what I find crazy is I used to bitch about people with cell phones at fucking concerts until I got a phone that has a good camera, and now I'm a hypocrite because because I go to concerts to get the rail, to get great photos that hopefully that artist recognizes me and reposts it, so my podcast can go somewhere. God damn it!
Oh
However,
man.
I will be honest though, I'm starting to backtrack a little bit because I've noticed I'm on my phone a lot less at concerts. I'm taking less photos. So I guess you can call that a form of I'm not so addicted to it, but I still know that I am.
I give myself 2 minutes. So like, you know how like you can keep track of like when you open up a video, it tells you how long the video is. So I um like whenever I'm at a concert, I try to pick out like specific parts of a song or like an opening or something that I really like. And I hold my camera like this and I keep track of like how much time I have. So like once I get in my role and I've gotten up to like 2 minutes, and that's it. I try to keep it down to 2 minutes. Like if I would go to a concert, try to keep it less than 2 minutes where I have my phone like recording
See, I do
because
that.
I
I
don't
do
want to
that
miss
too.
the experience, but I also want to remember it. You know what I mean?
That's the thing though, is the part of us that's I think it's us just wanting to, because every human being, let's be honest, we all know that our time here is limited. So we want some kind of a remembrance of us and our loved ones. So that's probably why we do that at concerts.
Yeah. I mean, it's in your brain your whole life. Like when you go to a concert, you can remember that, but to be able to go back and actually physically see, specific parts and points, I don't get too upset with anybody who records anything at like at any of our concerts or even when I'm at a concert and someone's recording. Now, what I don't like is when someone's standing there like all the way up and it's like impeding I've thrown beers at people for that. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna stand there for 20 minutes impeding everybody's view. Like get your little clip and then put your phone back in your pocket or put it down. You know what I mean? You don't have to stand there like this in front of 1,000 people behind you where they can't see. Like I've thrown beers at people for that.
You know what's crazy is going back to like our generation or whatever. The first time I went to a concert was 2007, a major concert, and I saw Alice Cooper. Now there wasn't a whole lot of cameras because 2007 was fucking Blackberries. Like they weren't known for
Yeah,
their
yeah,
good
yeah.
camera. So I do have pictures from that show that I took on my BlackBerry. If I can find them, I will post them. I wasn't even close to the stage, bro. I was at the Ohio State Fair. I was like 30 rows back. It was close in person, but for some reason cameras don't show how close you are to stuff. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
don't
especially ones back then.
Yeah. Hell, I got issues with my Google because, like, for some reason, the moon or anything will look really close. And when you get on that camera, you're like, fuck, I can't see shit. But, like, back then, bro, that shit was crazy because you got to think 10 years before that. I didn't experience this, but I've got friends that have told me stories and everything. 10, 15, 20 years before that, the only way, and if you find any bootleg live concert footage, because they wouldn't let, because all you had was cameras, they wouldn't let cameras in the venue. So you had to smuggle a camera into the
This
venue.
big, yeah.
And you had to hide that bitch and film. If I find any bootlegs of concert footage, I'm like, that guy earned it.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you'll get audio only because people would sneak tape recorders in, and those were kind of small.
Yeah.
Like you would, but full on video. Like I saw in 19, I think it was 1990. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not big into the history. I love the band, but I'm not big into the history. Alice in Chains, they toured with Kiss, I think in 97 or 98, their last tour they ever did.
Like,
But
when?
the last tour that Alice in Chains did with Kiss, there is bootleg footage from a show of Alice in Chains performing.
Really?
And 97. You And the thing is though, is it looked choppy, but you could see them on the stage, and this person was not that close. So how the and what's crazy too is if you look, it's cultural differences too. If you go to any metal show in most of the UK, I'm not saying all, but most of the UK, you see very limited phone use.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing for sure.
Like live music is very important in that part of the world.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
here it's like it's all you see in concerts here is just people with their phones out. Like I said, I would never, like, as a musician, if I'm on stage, I'll never be mad at somebody for doing that. But if I see someone with their phone up like this for like ever, you know what I mean? Like, be smart about it at least.
I don't mind it. And I find it kind of silly when like major artists complain about them. Like these people are still paying good money to come see you to share a great experience in front of a band they enjoy.
Yeah.
Regardless of what they are doing, they are there to listen. And some of the times they're not there to listen to you. They might be there to listen to another band and they just came through to listen, especially at a festival.
Yep. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
not you personally, but that person's horrible attitude towards that behavior costs fans unnecessarily.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I've been to concerts where like phones are banned. You can't even take a picture.
Yeah, I was surprised that when Tool played at when I was there for Rock on the Range, like I'm surprised that there was so many phones out because they're like huge sticklers about not having phones out. But when I saw them live at Rock on the Range, there were so many phones. It was crazy.
I was there and I remember there was an ongoing joke. I don't know if it was just in our group, but some people did join in where people were like, we're filming tonight because this is our only chance. He's the same way with a perfect circle too. I think it's just a Maynard thing, a personal preference
Yeah.
of his, which
Yeah.
I do you, bro, but like I've seen worse. I was at a concert. I'm not going to say the name because I do support the guy, but I don't agree with what was said. I was at a show and the performer was performing and somebody pulled out their phone to take a picture. Not film, just took a picture and put it away. Danzig started screaming. Sorry, I named him because I'm an asshole. Danzig started screaming at security to kick this guy out for just taking a picture.
Wow.
And I think he's gotten better with age with that. I think that was just a period he was going through because I've seen pictures of his shows and no problems. He may have been going through something in his personal life. Because I don't like to judge people based on one thing that happened or a way they
Yeah,
acted
yeah.
because we're all human and
Yeah, for sure.
I've done and said things I don't mean, but it's still kind of weird at that point in time to freak out over a fucking picture. I don't know. That's kind of like that Kiss interview I saw where they flipped out about the guy wearing an Iron Maiden shirt. Did you see that shit?
No.
Yeah,
Kiss freaked out.
Guy was wearing an Iron Maiden shirt to interview Kiss, and Gene Simmons was like, "I." You would have to look it up yourself. I'm paraphrasing, so this is from what I remember was said. Gene looked at the guy and said, "Really?" And the guy's like, "What?" And Paul's like, "You should be wearing a Kiss shirt. You're wearing an Iron Maiden shirt." And he's like, "Don't you know we took them out on their first tour?" And they made the guy on camera change into a Kiss shirt before he interviewed them.
Wow. What a prick.
Yeah. I'm like, it's one thing to joke like that. Like, as just a side nod, not even, you don't even have to have an ego to say something like that, as long as you're joking. Because I've seen
Yeah,
people
yeah,
joke,
yeah.
like, why aren't you wearing my band's merch, blah, 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 but they're not actually upset about it. But them getting actually physically upset and making somebody change their shirt is probably the reason why Iron Maiden's latest hit single came much recently than Kiss's last hit single. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry. I say the quiet thing out loud. But it's the thing. I have no personal vendetta with any of these people. I don't know them. I'm just saying based on what I've seen and what I know. I mean, it's horrible behavior. I saw this post, this news article. It made me laugh because you, as a music fan, would laugh at this too. The news article said that Axl Rose had a mental break, a rare,
Oh, a rare
isolated
one?
mental. Yeah, they said a rare, isolated mental breakdown on stage. And I'm
Just
like,
recently?
yeah, just like it recently happened, and they're claiming that it was like this news article I read said a rare, isolated incident happened when Axl Rose flipped out on stage and walked off. I'm like, wait, isolated? Like that's just a Guns N' Roses show, bro.
Yeah, that's his MO. Is it the one when it was in like South America or something where he kicked the drummer's like kick drum or something?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
which one
yeah,
it
I seen
was.
that.
I'm like isolated. That's all he did. That's like sissy stuff compared to like when Axl Rose fucking
Dove out in the
can't
crowd.
he can't because the guy was wearing what, a Slash shirt or some shit.
I can't remember, but I know the video you're talking about.
And then like I don't know, he was wild, dude. Nothing against him. He's a rock legend. Rock legend. I can tell similar stories about Ozzy Osbourne, but like, goddamn, dude, showing up. Ozzy was at least professional. Axel shows up like 30 minutes late and kicks drum sets and I get it. You have mental health issues. You're a rock legend. Like I still respect you, but that behavior and claiming that it's isolated was
Yeah,
wild.
right. Like Ozzy, he pissed on the Alamo like on his own time, not on stage. You know what I mean? Like he's
That's
professional
like
about it.
I had a discussion with somebody that Crowbot actually opened for Motorhead during Motorhead's last tour.
Really?
Yeah, and he said that Lemmy was a different breed. Like he treated he gave you a look, like a gaze, and you know that like special gaze where you're glaring into like a legend. Pretty much is pretty much what Lemmy was like. And I was like, so you toured with him, and you can go back and listen to the full interview. You toured with him, but have you ever seen him be unprofessional? Because he's been known for being a drunk and he's very openly a party animal. And he's like, not once, not
He just
once.
put off that persona, just put it off. Yeah,
You
part of his stick.
you have them guys like Ozzy and Lemmy who are fucking crazy as shit off stage. However, you never see them unprofessional.
Yeah. It's
That
like
to
a
me,
light switch.
that to me is
Yeah.
crazy. Like, what do you mean? The guy who just sat down and had coffee with Paul McCartney just last week did enough drugs to kill entire villages in Africa and shit in a swimming pool. But the thing that's cool about Ozzy is he opens our eyes though a little bit because that is the duality of human nature. We all have that crazy wild man that we want to embrace, but we never go that far. However, Ozzy was also the lovable man, kind of like Lemmy and all them other heroes of ours. If you look into them, they've done some horrible shit. They're honest about
Oh yeah.
it. unless unless you're Kiss, then you're. I'm not trying to shit on any musician. I just like to make jokes. But like it's crazy some of the old road stories. And I believe it's in Alice Cooper's book Golf Monster. He talks about when he was friends with the drummer of the Who and Keith Moon, and he said he is the craziest human being I ever have known. He's like, if you hear any stories about like Ozzy Osbourne or Iggy Pop, like 60% of them are true. The rest is like legend. When it comes to Keith Moon, 100% of it is true and the full story isn't told. This man carved a hole. I don't know if this was Alice telling this story, but I heard it in an interview. I think it was with one of the members of The Who. He carved a hole in one of his hotel rooms that led to the singer's room just to crawl under his bed and scare him. And when hotel maintenance came and said, "Why is there holes in the wall?" he said, "Big fucking mice." You don't hear stories like that anymore. Or at least
No.
they're not willing to tell them yet because of the lawsuits.
I have a
But
theory on
Keith,
that. I have a theory on that actually as to why like those kinds of like crazy stories aren't like musicians and artists aren't as crazy as they were back then. I have a theory on that. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think it has a lot to do with money. Artists don't make the same money that they did back in the 80s, the 70s and 80s and even the early 90s. Like one I'm serious, one small little mishap and your career's over in today's industry. Like
that is
if
true.
if a band like nowadays, even like the biggest bands, like say like a Shinedown or something, say like one of those guys like were digging holes in a hotel room and shit like that, like dude, the amount of money that the hotel would like sue the their label would like knock them bankrupt. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it. I think it has a lot to do with money nowadays. Like you had disposable income back then, but nowadays, like even in the music industry, you have to be smart about the money that you make because you might not make it in a week. You might not make it in a month. You
I
know?
get what you're saying, and it is true.
I
But it
didn't
could
mean to get
also.
all serious with the conversation, but
No,
that's
no,
the
no.
theory.
What you're saying is true. But I have another theory, too. Could it be that people are so worried about what others will think of them if they act in that manner?
Oh yeah,
That
for sure. Yeah.
because you had your Ozzy Osbournes and Iggy Pops, and I'm not even going to go this far, but I am. I wasn't going to, but you have your Gigi Allens, who just just do crazy, off the wall shit, and people buy because of it.
Yeah.
Like, what
Now
are they
they
going to?
cancel you because of it.
But the thing is cancel culture has always existed. Cancel culture is the reason why Guar made it big. Cancel culture is the reason why Jerry Springer was so big. It's the reason why South Park got so big. I think the issue is we're allowing cancel culture to destroy instead of create.
You're
I
right.
think people are too afraid of being canceled. Canceled ain't real. People are too afraid of what people would think of them and worried that they might lose some followers because of something they did. Now, there are real cancelizations, and I'm going to use comedy as an example because we can relate on the comedy level. We can also relate on the music level. But when it comes to comedy, it's the easier way to explain these canceled. All right, you have your Dave Chappelle canceled or Jimmy Carr. The comedians that get canceled, but not really. It helps their career. They get more listeners and blah, blah, blah. Those people should never not be canceled. They shouldn't because they're joking about those things and they're making art about them things like Guar does. They make art about heinous shit, but it doesn't count because they're not being serious and we know that. Then you have your Bill Cosby canceled.
Yeah.
We all want to be Dave Chappelle canceled.
Yeah, yeah. We
But
want
we're
we want
afraid.
we want to yeah, we want to joke about those things, not actually do those things.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, is if I say some shit, and especially in today's society, and I'm not trying to get political or whatever, but in today's society, it seems like so many people have gotten sensitive about things that I see posts that are unrelated to a national tragedy or whatever, and people make it about that and try to get people fired because of it. And that wasn't even that person's intention at all, but we created what that intention was. So you can't even not be offensive in this world anymore.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. Yeah, for sure.
So, like, why not embrace it? Why not go back to the Carlins and stuff and say, fuck it, cancel culture's here. It's always been here. We need to allow it to strengthen and actually cancel people who deserve to not have a platform. Cancel through your mouth and through your ears. Don't cancel through canceling fucking people offline.
Yeah.
Don't get rid of them being able to get a platform. Just don't listen to them. You know how crazy it was to listen to George Carlin in the early 2000s, bro? During the whole satanic panic was just starting to kind of phase out, but it was still there. And he had George Carlin on stage just ripping the shit to pieces. I think, I'm sorry to go on a rant like this, but but like, I don't like it. I don't like that people are so I've so many times have I had comedians walk up to me and say, listen, like, he's like, I love being a comedian, but he's like, I get really tired of people taking my persona and taking it off stage and taking what I say seriously. Because he's like, because there are so many anti Semitic and actual hateful comedians out there that they try to group them with the ones that are actually joking. And I'm like, I mean, because I have some questionable jokes and I'm happy to tell them. Because at the end of the day, people know where my heart is. And I think that's all that matters.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's nothing funnier than a racy joke. So I guess where my rant's going, here's a racy joke. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I go on this big rant about nobody should be canceled, and I tell the most heinous joke and then just end the live. Just canceled. No.
Oh man.
See, that's actually the publicity we want, though. Could you imagine if I say some heinous shit, which I'm not going to on this show, at least not right away, but like I have. And the thing is we all want that news article.
Yeah, dude, you got artists like Ronnie Radke, dude. You go to his TikTok and it's nothing but just like him just trolling people, and that's how he's got. I mean, outside of his fantastic, amazing voice and his band, who's fucking fantastic, but like that cancel culture edge is like what has really boosted him up to where he is today.
Are you familiar with Chip and the Charge Ups?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Their singer was on one of Ronnie's posts.
Nuh-uh.
She was.
Really?
He called her a generic rock singer or something like that. I forget what he said.
Really?
It
Oh
was,
man, I gotta.
it was hilarious.
Dude, I love Chip and the Charge Ups, dude. They're cool people.
I love them. I love their music. And Chip's a hell of a singer. I wish he would do some punk stuff again.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember when he was doing like the whole punk thing. Nothing against Chip the Charge Up. They're great too. But he did amazing with that too. Man, we need to reunite a lot of local bands that are like they've been gone for a while. Just like do some Anvil or Spinal Tap type shit.
Oh, hell
Just
yeah.
have you seen the new one?
No, I have not, and don't tell me anything about it. I don't. Nope, don't say nothing about it because I want to. Don't do
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not.
it.
All I'm going to say is you need to watch it. It's just as good in my opinion as the first one.
Really? See, I'm so nervous about it. Just like because like a lot of like movies that were like so great when you were a kid, and then they come out 20, 30 years later, and they do like a sequel to it, and all it is just regurgitating all the old stuff,
Well,
and like.
they do some of that in this movie. I'm not going to lie to you, but I personally like when they do that because I like the nostalgia of it all. But I like when they also keep to the new story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the new Happy Gilmore, man. I was not. That was one of my
I
favorite
never
movies
saw
of
it.
all time. I just wasn't a fan because it was just all they did was regurgitate a bunch of stuff, and it was like, I mean, it was fun to watch, and it brought back memories and nostalgia and stuff like that. But the storyline was just you could tell that they were just trying to tap into
Self-help.
that nostalgia too much. Yeah,
They're
I'm
trying.
nervous. Yeah, I've been nervous that like the new Spinal Tap is going to be like that, but regardless, I'm going to
See,
watch.
I never seen the Happy Gilmore sequel. However, I did see Dumb and Dumber 2 and I was a fan. So if that
Oh
says
yeah,
anything about
they did a good job with that though.
they did. Did you know Bill Murray's in that movie?
And what?
Bill Murray is in Dumb and Dumber 2. He's uncredited.
Really?
Do you know who he do you want to guess who he plays?
No, I'm not going to guess. I'm going to watch it again. Don't tell me. I'm going to watch it again.
I won't. And then we have to rehash this and see if you can guess who he was.
Yes, yes, for sure. We should watch it together. Actually, we should watch it together. I could just see you right now, just like staring at me, waiting. Did you see it? Did you notice it?
Did you see that shit, man? If it wasn't for copyrights, I'd do it live.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dude, it's an awesome cameo, and I like that he did it. Cameos are amazing if done properly.
Yeah.
My one of my favorite cameos of all time is probably Stan Lee. I think it was in an Avengers or Fantastic Four movie. I forget which one. Where the guy walks up to him and he's like, "Hey, Hugh," and he taps a shoulder of a guy who's wearing like a night robe, and Stan Lee turns around with one woman under each arm, and he's like, "I'm Stan Lee." or when he's trying to get into the nightclub and he's like, "I'm Stan Lee," and they're like, "You're no Stan Lee," and he's like, "No, I'm Stan Lee."
Hasn't he done a cameo in every one? Like every
Yes,
and every.
yes, he
I'm pretty
has.
sure he did.
And here's the thing: he was also in Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Oh really?
Yes, in spirit. The scene where all the Deadpools are about ready to collide, there's a bus that passes and it's for Stanley Cleaners. And it
No way.
has, yeah, it's a Stanley Cleaners. Yeah.
Holy shit! Well, how did I miss that?
Yeah, it's the when they go into the bus because they have the Deadpools that's playing that driving that bus,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
on that bus. Yeah, it says Stanley Cleaners.
Oh man.
Dude, I heard they might be making a Deadpool Spider-Man movie next.
Oh dude, is it gonna be rated R?
It should be because have you
It
read
better
the
be.
Deadpool Spider-Man comics?
Oh dude, that's what I'm saying. It better be. It better be rated R. It won't be any
It's like
good if it's not.
whenever they're like all tied up, and he's like, "You feel that, Spidey?" He's like, "My Spidey senses are tingling." Dude, I just did a comic book review on a buddy of mine's channel. Go check out Thompson's Comic Corner. Um, we reviewed the Deadpool trilogy. I'm not sure if you read them or not.
No.
Bro, it's Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe again, and Deadpool kills Deadpool. The comic book series follows Dreadpool, but he's not called that until Deadpool kills Deadpool. But he arrives at this mental hospital because he has a funny voice and a serious voice, and then now he has a third voice. Now I could be getting this wrong because I'm kind of medicated right now, so my memory is kind of fuzzy. But he has these three voices in his head, and then the red voice pretty much takes over. And the red voice is telling him kill everybody in the known Marvel universe. So he does. He just goes on a rampage because he realizes that this is all not real life anyway, and the way to escape it is by killing all the Marvel characters. So he like kills them all off and shit. And then in one of the comic books, he realizes that he has to go to other dimensions and kill the other characters in order to destroy them all. And he can't do it in the same way. And once he does that, he discovers he has to go into the comic books of the characters that they were based off of. So he's like over here killing Mulan and fucking Moby Dick and shit.
What the hell?
And he's fighting. I think at one time he fought Robin Hood, maybe. I don't. He went into Jungle Book, bro, and started just
Oh man,
slaughtering monkeys and shit. You need to read this. It's hilarious.
dude, how much money would that cost to film that? Like how much? You know what I mean? The copyright rules and shit with like Disney and all that shit and Pixar and all that, dude. The amount of money they would have to spend.
Could you imagine if that was a movie? I love that it was a comic
That's what I'm
book,
saying.
but god damn. Now, the one thing I will tell you, these are not your typical popular Deadpool type comics. There are some joking, but it's more of like a serious Deadpool. But the storyline is so outrageous that it makes it funny. Like, I think at one point he stabbed Professor X in the leg, and Professor X starts crying. And as a fan of comics, I'm like, that's fucking stupid. You know what they need to remake is, if you ever have to go, let me know, because I'll talk for days. You know that. Um, they need to do a sequel or a prequel of Austin Powers before Mike Myers retires.
Oh, dude, for sure, for sure. I know. Just one more, dude. Just one more. One more is all we need. I don't know
And
why he hasn't done it yet.
people can claim all they want that Goldmember ruined the franchise, but how do you ruin a franchise that is built on being a parody of James Bond? I
Yeah,
think it was brilliant.
dude. One more. Just one more.
And what's crazy is Austin Powers never fed on nostalgia. They created new stories each time, same character, different stories. Could you imagine?
Exactly.
Could you imagine if the Austin Powers of 2000 and what was it, 7 when that came out, or 6, got frozen and woke up in 2025?
Dude. Oh, dude. Dude, that's a great story premise, dude. Can you imagine Austin Powers from then and like with the technology that we have now, dude? Like on Facebook. Can you imagine Austin Powers on Facebook?
He's
Or
doing
on
Facebook.
TikTok?
He's doing Facebook lives. He's on podcast, dude. Imagine him on Joe Rogan.
Oh,
Just
dude. Dude. That's a great premise.
call me Hollywood. Call me Mike. Tag
Dude, I
Mike
love it.
Myers in this. Tag Mike Myers in this right now. I want to make this movie with him. I don't have the budget for it, but I'll make it happen. I'll write the whole script because I have ideas, bro. Like, could you?
Dude, cryogenically frozen and then back to life in 2026, dude. That would be so good.
And
So
he's
good.
like, he's sitting there and he's writing on that paper all the people that died like the first movie, but he's like Ozzy Osbourne. He's like Ozzy Osbourne, Parkinson's.
What? Dude, I love it. I love it. That's
after
a great.
after they made him watch the Osbournes, he's like, he died of Parkinson's, and that'd be kind of a nod to Goldmember because Ozzy was in Goldmember.
Yes, yes.
Dude, we need to do a whole series on like movies that should happen just based on what we think, like different movies, because that'd be
Yeah.
a great series in and of itself, dude. The new Austin Powers, though, what would you call it?
And I feel like you have a name for it already.
I I'm scanning the list of James Bond movies right now because yeah, the first one was not named after a James Bond movie, but all the ones that followed that was Doctor Evil was modeled. So we have to stick to that theme. Fair?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh. It's easy. Austin Powers Sphincter. I lost my sphincter. I don't know. I don't know.
You've frozen my sphincter.
Austin Powers has to find his sphincter because Scotty Evil stole it, and with the help of his new brother, Doctor Evil, they have to find it. See, I honestly think that is rehashed jokes, but in a appropriate manner.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And could you imagine when he finds out what's going on in the political world? Holy
Oh
shit!
my god. Dude. I'm telling you, it's gotta have one more. One more.
It's like, you mean to tell me that real estate fella from New York is president? What? The guy on Apprentice? I would have thought it would have been Steve Harvey. Like the ongoing jokes, dude. It works.
It works for
You know
sure.
what's
We need it.
crazy
We
to
need it.
think? What's crazy to think for me though is when Austin Powers came out, right? What was that? 94 maybe?
No, it was later than that.
Even 98. I know it was in the 90s, late 90s
Yeah,
maybe. Or
the first one was in like 99, I thought, or
okay,
98 maybe.
99, right? From the amount of time that 70 to 98 is a lot further than now is, well, a lot closer than now it was to then, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. That's like I did the math, and when they came out with that 90s show, the amount of time between the 90s and the 70s when that show came out is the same amount of time that the release date of that 70s show and now is.
Crazy, dude. That's
Like,
like when we were younger, like in the 90s, and like our parents listened to music from like the 50s and 60s. Now we're listening to music from the 90s, and our kids are like, it's the same. It's just goes around in a circle. You know what I mean? Nirvana, Nirvana is our Elvis. You know what I mean? Like if you think about it.
you just reminded me of a video I found on Facebook. It's like how our music sounds to our kids, and the guy puts on like Slayer, and all the kid hears is the Slayer lyrics. Somebody did an Elvis impersonation. They did Elvis singing fucking Slayer. And the dad just like,
True though, you know.
like you gotta think though, during that generation, man, Elvis was like that was like moshing for them back then. They're like, you mean to tell me they're showing below the waist?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that Elvis gentleman is showing some ankle on television? That fiend. And then before that, they're like, you mean to tell me that we're now playing guitars? And then before that, it was, you mean to tell me we're playing pianos now, them degenerates? You mean to tell me they're using lyrics now? That's the devil's music. You can hear what they're singing.
Now, yeah, and like in 10 or 15, 20 years from now, they're going to be like, you mean to tell me that people used to write their own lyrics? They didn't use AI? You mean to tell me that other people other than AI wrote music back then?
Dude, that's hilarious. So, going back to time and how weird time is, I was talking to a friend of mine. This is when we get kind of deep in the conversation before I get off of here. um, Ancient Egypt, people don't realize how old Egypt was. And to put into perspective how old Egypt was, the amount of time between the last pharaoh dying and the formation of Egypt is much longer amount of time than the end of ancient Egypt is to today. The last pharaoh died about 2,000 years ago. If that. If that. Ancient Egypt was 10,000 years old or older.
Jeez, dude.
So,
That like gives me
with that being,
anxiety to think about. You
with
know what I
that
mean?
being said, ancient Egyptians was talking about ancient Egypt when they were still a fucking country or an empire. They're still a country, an empire. When they were still an empire, ancient Egypt was still talking about ancient Egypt when it was around. So that is crazy.
Dude. Ancient
And to
Egypt
think,
was like back in ancient Egypt.
do you think they said something more different than like back in the olden times?
Back in the first times.
Back in the first times, could you imagine though if back then they were like talking about the older generations, like what the younger ones are up to, like oh, these damn kids, they're adding
Kicking
more.
cans.
These damn kids kicking cans. Did you hear they turned Thoth from a baboon into a freaking bird? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Back when I was young, no, everybody has to have a god. What is? No, that's probably how the Hindus feel. Whew, I love Hinduism, but damn, I get confused.
Oh man.
Did you know that Hinduism is probably one of the religions that has the most gods?
Yeah,
And I heard ever listen to Sadhguru. I think is how you pronounce his name. He's a very intelligent Indian fella who talks about a lot of like religion. He not all the time, but he talks about religion, peace, all kinds of stuff, yoga, meditation. He's very insightful. And they asked him about Hinduism. He's like, you know what? India is a very interesting country because if you go anywhere else and you tell people that I'm a god, they'll say you're crazy, you're crazy, you're nuts. You go to India and we're like, you finally figured it out because at the end of the day, the Hindu religion is so old and vast that there are over, I think, 80 million gods. And that was when India had 80 million people. Like, and they all respected one another's. That's where things get lost. They respected everyone. I don't like this seclusion just because you think this way about something that neither one of us know the truth about. Why are we letting it divide us?
that's a good way to look at it.
Because at the end of the day, every single god or whatever you want to call it, people call it God spirit, some just call it like subconscious, whatever. It's all connected to the same thing. We're all nature, we're all atoms, we all are made of the same matter. So why does it matter how we define that and what story we choose to explain it? Because I love everyone for whatever their belief is, except if you harm people.
Yeah.
Welcome to Mike's Rant Hour. You're allowed to talk. You're not going to get canceled. You're allowed to. Dude, I love having you on. Thank you for doing this again.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on. I seriously, it's been too long. There's been a handful of times where we were supposed to get together and something happened, or
Can
you
we
know,
like do this more often than just
we
like
should,
randomly?
should, we should, dude. We should actually like get together in the same room. I said this the last time we talked. Like we should like get together in the same room and chat. I think it would be like us feeding off each other like in
Dude,
a physical realm would be great.
I am down if you ever have currently my days off are usually Wednesdays and Thursdays. So if you're available any of those days and you're not doing the food truck thing or afterwards, we can do it. Just hit me up.
Yeah, that's the great thing about this truck, man, is I've worked my own hours. I can figure out. I can just be like, I ain't working today,
Dude, we could just set up in the food truck. You think it's
dude.
sanitary to
Yeah,
set up?
yeah. The food truck podcast, dude. Let's do it. I'll make some mac and cheese. I'll make some mac and cheese while we chat, dude. It'd be hilarious. We'll play some
Dude,
video
what would be
games.
even more hilarious, dude, is I have the Mac and I'm making the how okay, be serious. Be serious right now. I have a question I need to know. How many times a day do you how many
I don't
times
put, dude. I don't put. I refuse to put the pasta with the cheese until it's ordered, right? Because if you put it together before you order it, it gets all mushy. The noodles get nasty. So like when you order it from me, that's when I drop the pasta. Like the pasta's par cooked. It's like al dente. I drop it in hot water to heat it up and finish the cook. And then I take it out and then I mix it with the cheese right then and there. So like when you get it, it's like fresh. So I do this all day long.
because I'll be honest, that's the best way to go because I've went places that have the Mac out and it gets disgusting.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't make that noise. It makes a like the noise you
Because the
don't
noodles
want
are
to
so
hear.
soft, dude. Yeah, they're soft and mushy. It turns into soup, dude. It's nasty.
I love me a good soup, but not with cheese like that. It's the only soup I like with cheese is French onion soup because that shit is,
Dude, I love French onion soup. Dude,
dude,
French
dude,
onion mac, dude. What do you think?
dude. You should do a
Mac and
French
cheese
onion.
with like French like a thickened French onion soup with like Gruyere cheese on top, dude.
Oh,
Ooh.
dude, that would be amazing.
We'll call it
Like
the Usenick.
you have to have it be my pixelized face looking like some
Yeah.
80s porn star. Just
Your hair is just like little blocks. You know what I mean? Like
but
little 8-bit blocks.
but we have to do a recognizable facial hair or a feature because they'll be like, "Is that Howard Stern?" And it would just give off the wrong feel.
Oh man.
Like I love. I've had people, they're like, "Are you trying to go for the Howard Stern?" I'm like, "It's like I choose this face and this hair. No, I'm not going for that just because I'm in a similar field. I'm not trying to. Well, I would bring strippers on, but they've never asked. Anyway, dude, I'll be honest. I've
They
thought
always
about.
say no when I ask.
I actually would love to get the confidence eventually because I am confident doing this, but I'm not confident asking people in person unless I've known them to do it. I'm cool with emails because they contact me. Uh, but like, I would love to go out there and be like, "Hey, you guys want to do this? You guys want to do an interview?" And I did kind of do that. I did that at OVDJ Campout for the first time. I camped out. I interviewed a bunch of people. It was awesome. I'd like to do that more often because I feel I should hit up like OnlyFans models and like unknown, lesser known comedians and like people like that. So if you know anyone, I don't even care what walk of life you are, if you feel they would be interested in my types of conversation in my mind, bring them on. They'll either file a restraining order or they'll enjoy the conversation.
That's why I love your podcast though, dude, because you don't restrict yourself to one certain specific niche, you know what I mean? Like you just like to talk to people, you know? I like
Dude,
that.
I don't give a shit. And even if I do make it big by some mishap, I'm not going to forget where I came from. Yeah, it will be cool if I ever interview huge names or ever get to that point. But most of my episodes, I would like to make it weekly if I was doing it weekly. But after a while, if you do live weekly, guests cancel and then people get upset, whatever. So I do
Yeah.
this pre-recorded. I like to do that again once I'm able to get more guests consistent. So if I ever do get bigger or whatever, I would love to do once a week and each week be like a lesser known guest and then get like a bigger name guest if able and then just keep it going that way.
Yeah.
And I'd like to do what that metal show does. I'd like I don't know if you ever watched that metal show, but
Oh, dude, it was one of my favorite shows growing up.
they would, of course it was. That's why I was hoping you'd say that because you seem like one of them kids that got their music either from that metal show or Beavis and Butthead. And I'm
Dude,
thinking
I
both.
discovered so many great bands from both of those shows, dude.
You know what was the worst feeling as a kid? Watching that show and hearing a song and be like, I like this. And then you hear them go, huh, huh, that's lame.
Yeah. Dude, I always wanted that metal show to interview Beavis and Butthead. How hilarious would that have been?
Dude, why didn't they?
I don't know,
But
but it would have been great, wouldn't it? It would have
the
been
thing
great.
about the thing about that metal show, and I wish Beavis and Butthead would have done this. If you notice, on every episode, they would wear shirts that lesser known bands sent them.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
They would listen to the music, and if they enjoyed it, they would pick which shirt was sent to them that they will wear. And a lot of bands were discovered that way and was actually on that
Dude,
metal show because of it.
dude, it was a trend, dude. It was like you go on there and be like, I wonder what shirt he's wearing today, and then you just like look find that band, dude. I
I
loved it.
forget I forget which member I saw, but I saw one of the members of that metal show opening for I think Zach Wild. I think it was Zach Sabbath. You know, Zach
Oh.
Wild's midlife crisis band.
Dude, I love Zach Sabbath though, dude. They fucking rock live, dude. I've seen them live. It's amazing.
I do
They could
too.
definitely they could play more songs though. Like when I seen them live, they played for an hour, but they played like four Sabbath songs because it's Zach Wild, dude. He's got to go on a fucking 30-minute solo every single song, which is great. I mean, that's Zach Wild for you. That's who he is. But like at the end of it, I'm like, they could have played so many more Sabbath songs, though. You know what I mean? Like, they're so
When,
good.
when when I saw them, it was great because they did great shit, but the real long solos, which I love, and just because I make jokes don't mean I don't support the act. That's just how I am. With Zach though, one day at a show, I went and I think he was playing for Ozzy, and he got up on the rail and he was like this doing the solo right in front of me, and I had to. It was the most awkward situation because I'm like I'm a fan of this guy, but I don't want to see up his skirt. Like I'm not trying to do this today. Like,
You tried to look, dude. Don't lie. You want to know. You want to know. Everybody wants to
just like lift it up and be like,
know.
and with the way my hair is, it just looked like he has a bush. It just
Oh,
like, what the fuck? Oh
Dude,
my
I have
god.
every time I've seen Zach Sabbath, I've seen Black Label Society, I've seen him play with Ozzy. And one thing I've always like the first handful like of times that I've seen him live, I never really noticed. But like as I've gotten older and as a guitar player, as a musician, like when you go see other bands, you're always like looking at gear and looking to see what they're playing and stuff. And I remember when I noticed, like, I think it was when it was with Black Label Society, he he doesn't he's old school, like he runs all tube amps and stuff, and like he refuses to use a wireless system. And I noticed that at a show one time, and I had more enjoyment watching. He has one guy. Next time, if you ever watch like go on YouTube and just watch like Zach Wild live, and you'll see there's a guy. He pays this guy to go on tour with him, and all he is the cable wrangler. That's all he does. He follows Zach Wild offside this, like on the sides of the stage, and he untangles his wire while he's walking around. That's what his job is. And once now that you know this, you're gonna have so much fun and enjoyment watching that guy as you do watching Zach Wild play guitar. Because like, you see this dude, and he's just like he's in the background. He's just like trying to. It's hilarious, dude. It's hilarious.
Dude, that is the most Spinal Tap bullshit ever. Like they're the band, they're like, we're very prideful that we have the last ever chord tangler in business.
I mean, I'm sure that guy does more than that. But like his job when Zach Wild is playing guitar is to wrangle his chords so that it doesn't get tangled.
Did you see that? Did you see that footage where when Zach plays, he's not in charge of the whammy bar when he's playing Pantera.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was a video of him playing guitar, and it said who's in charge of his mystery pedal, and it zoomed over, and it was Scott Ian of fucking Anthrax.
He
that
got a
I,
lot of shit for that online too. I remember when that came out. I was like, dude, like Dimebag had other people run his whammy for him too. You know what I mean? Like there's only so much you can do. Like if I was on tour and I had a stage that was 100 feet wide, I wouldn't want to be confined to one spot either. Like I want to go around and walk around, and I can't have 30 whammy pedals on stage. You know what I mean? So like
I
I
think
would
it's
have somebody
smart.
do that for me too. Yeah, for sure.
It's smart because it's off the stage, and the thing is it's not like somebody's coming out, right, going behind him with their hands and playing the
Yeah.
guitar, which would be fucking hilarious. But it's dude, that visual. Could you imagine somebody just coming out? Okay, Mr. Wild, I got you.
Oh my god.
So, what is your thoughts on certain bands that, like legendary bands, have been doing it a lot, where they use the help of a backup singer to make them sound better? And I saw somebody complaining about this. That's why I asked. And I personally, before you answer, I personally don't see a problem with it because it's still live music. And even if they're singing to somewhat of a backing track, but you get most of their live vocals, I don't see a problem in it either.
It has a lot to do with like the way the industry is nowadays too, with um like touring is expensive as fuck. You know what I mean? And if you're in a four-piece band and you record songs, you want those songs to sound great on recording. And a lot of that calls for, multiple guitar parts, harmonies, stuff like that. But you can't hire and take on the road with you three, four guitar players, three, four singers, an entire orchestra. So, like, if you want to be able to sustain a career as a musician, you still want to sound good live. I don't see a problem with it. I've never had a major problem with it. Now, when you're fucking straight up lip syncing, I don't like that. But like, if you if you're the only guitar player in a band and you record a part on for a record and it's got harmonies in it and you want to put those harmonies on a backing track, and do it. Because if you don't, it's going to sound like shit live. You know what I mean? So I've never had a problem with it. Now, like, you're talking about like having like live singers come on tour and sing like backups for like with a
Like
band. Is
not
that what you're saying?
like singing alongside with the person singing so that if they fuck up, this person's kind of leveling out them out, like a pitch correction kind of thing from another singer. Because I've seen a lot of bands do have somebody in the back that sings with the singer just in case they fuck up. It kind of covers them.
Oh, I don't. I've never seen that before. I mean, I know that a lot of bands use like harmony backing tracks and stuff like that, but I've never heard of anybody having an actual like live singer sing like word for word along with another singer before. I've never seen that.
See, the only time I've not actually personally seen, I've heard of it happening, so I should have reworded it. But also, I've seen like backing bands sing live. This is a different thing. Sing live, but the main vocalist isn't. And I remember nothing against him; he's a legend. But the singer of I think it was Casey and the Sunshine Band, one of those bands, all of his vocal tracks were recorded 15 years ago. The only thing live is the instruments and the backing singers.
So like he's standing on stage acting like he's singing. No, I
At
don't like
90
that.
something years, he's 90
Yeah.
something years old,
Oh, you know what? I think I did see that. Yeah. My philosophy is if you can't do it anymore, then just don't do it. You know
right?
what I mean?
I would rather him be honest and sing the way he actually sounds. I'd respect that more.
Yeah, yeah. But if you can't do it anymore, then don't do it. There's the space for music is already tight as it is. There's millions of fantastic, amazing artists out there, but they can't get into that little circle because that little circle is still filled with 50, 60, 70, 80-year-old dudes that are still out there trying to catch a penny, even though they can't do it anymore. You know what I mean?
There are some exceptions.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude, trust me, I know. I'm just saying, if you can't do it anymore, then don't do it.
Because we could all agree that that last Aussie show shouldn't have happened. Uh, it's something that was a miracle that it did, because Ozzy was not in the best of shape, and the man put on what I believe is an epic performance. One of the best goodbyes in rock and roll history ever, bar none. You can't beat that.
He made it a party though. Like that's why
Yeah,
it worked because he didn't go out there and sing for 2 hours like a
yeah,
lot of these
that was the
artists that
next.
can't do it anymore do.
Yeah,
He
that was
got
the
out
next
there.
point.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off,
Yeah, you're good. That
but
was the
yeah,
next. That was the next point I was going to make. Is as though I agree that if you can't do it anymore, if you get a certain age, I don't think you should leave the spotlight because there's still a lot of room for that art. But you shouldn't be touring with other really well-known acts. That's not what the opening slot is for.
I see.
The
Yeah,
opening
I agree.
the opening slot is for up and coming acts or ones that are lesser known. It don't have to be just up and coming. There's a lot of great lesser known long time bands. They're coming with you. It seems like you're trying to sell and not sell the future, but you're trying to sell the past by making all this money. But you can't make this money. It's only temporary money. You should take out lesser known acts too. Like, I would kill to see a fucking Judas Priest tour with some lesser known act touring the United States like it used to be.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that anymore very
No,
often. We do.
no, there's plenty of space out there for and ability for everybody to get their piece of the pie. Greed, man, it's greed.
Now, I have seen some bigger name acts do take out lesser known bands on tour, so I'm not saying all of them. Because I have seen, I forget who they took on tour, but no, it was Alice Cooper, took on tour this opening band. I forget their name, but they're like a punk rock group, and they were opening. They were the only. There, it was them, Alice Cooper, and Motley Crue. They were called the Razkins, and they were on tour with Alice, but they also toured with Motley Crue and Alice. As far as my understanding, I could be fucked up with the history, but they were amazing, and they toured the North American tour of that.
And and I bet you it changed their life, dude. Because all you have to do is Dude, if you're a lesser known band and you can get on a big tour like that, all you need to do is catch 100 people at each city, and then bam, you have your own headlining tour a year later, playing in mid-level clubs to 100, 200 people, and still making good money and having a good time doing it. All you need is just that one chance to get with, you know what I mean? But it's hard.
My ultimate dream, and I know like funds and stuff make it very hard, and there's a lot in this area already, but not necessarily my idea. Uh, Start like a metal festival similar to what Ozfest was, but like lower scale, like still really well known acts, but like lesser well known acts, and then build from there. Because the way Ozfest operated was, is you had your big name acts, but they were only on the main stage, and typically they were the only three or four bands that you knew of.
Yeah.
All the other bands were like, "Who's this Slipknot?" And you go to
Yeah.
you go to the
Yeah.
side stage. At that time, they weren't that well known. You had White Zombie playing Ozfest before they blew the fuck up. That was the festival that anyone and everyone that is up and coming would come on, and that was the thing. People was like, "Oh yeah, we get to see Ozzy tonight, but we also get to see White Zombie. We also get to see," and I feel like that excitement's there at rock shows still, kind of, but it's starting to feel like more and more big name bands are at.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, and they're not tours anymore. They're one-off festivals. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
which they
So
have
it's
their
like,
place too.
yeah,
But
yeah, for sure. But like, it would be awesome to have like a Mayhem or an Ozfest type thing, like a tour. Like they brought back Warp Tour, but it was only in like two cities. You know what I mean? Like, dude, put that on the road, dude.
bro,
Put it on the road.
I saw a post. I guess Billy Corgan wants to do this. Like, he's like, I'm trying to come up with an idea. I want to do like a festival, like what we did on Ozzy's last show, where we have like bands on and like up and coming bands, and we donate the money to Parkinson's, and maybe even take it on the road. And fans are like, we already had that. Just bring back Ozfest.
Yeah, yeah.
Just in memory of Ozzy Osbourne, bring back Ozfest, and like each band does like one Ozzy or Black Sabbath song,
Yeah, and don't just have it in Vegas. You know what I mean? Put it on the
or
road.
England, or England.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew his last show was going to be in UK because that's where he's from. But a part of me was like, I wish I could fly there and see it.
I know. I know. Dude, and there were so many great performances too, dude. Like
Yeah,
Youngblood blew me away, dude. When he did changes, dude, blew me away.
I
It's
knew
fantastic.
whatever song he would have chose, he would have done well because he is such a good talented star. He gets a lot of hate because he wears skirts or whatever.
I
Who
don't care.
gives a fucking shit? I've worn a dress before. Grow up. Uh, Vikings wore kilts and they were crazy, okay? Like you can be masculine and wear a dress. Fudge off. But so I'm enlightening is what I'm saying. No, but he is such a great artist. Did you see the music video he did with Ozzy?
Dude, so good. So good.
The music video was hilarious. Did you watch it till the end?
No, I didn't, which one are you talking about?
Ozzy was in a music video of Young Bloods.
The one where he's in the coffin?
No, at the very end, he's throughout different parts. I believe he's in a coffin at one point, but the very end is what really caught me and made me remember it. Was Youngblood walks outside this like room or a house or whatever. I forget what he was leaving or a business, and he walks onto the street, and this car runs him over. And Ozzy's like, "What the fuck was that?" And Sharon's like, "I don't know, a poser." And he's like, "Should we turn around again?"
That's hilarious.
The thing is I love about it is no people shouldn't take themselves so seriously. If our heroes could do it, why can't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I
Hey
was
man,
gonna
my
do.
phone's about to die.
I
My
have that
charger's
effect on
upstairs.
people. I have that
Well,
effect
my
on people.
my my charger's upstairs, and my kids and my wife and stuff are upstairs sleeping, so I don't
You're
want
good, dude.
to
Get
go
some
up there.
sleep. We've been on for 2 hours, but you are more than welcome back. Let's make it sooner than like 3 months or
Dude,
whatever.
yeah, and next time we do, let's get together like face to face, dude, and have some beers and have a good time and do it.
I don't drink beer. You can have beer, but I will have a good time.
Can you
I'll
drink beer on camera? Can you do that on camera and not get
I
like in trouble?
I'm not sure. Put it in a coaster that doesn't look like it.
I'll bring a Theriaca coaster.
Go get it on Thrica Shop. What is your shop link? We didn't even mention that.
www.theriaca.net.
Yeah, you're so official. And if you want to check out more of me or him, go to that website he told you or visit www.usenick.com for more Usenick Unleashed. I have my own website too, brother. No,
Hell yeah.
much love, brother. You have a good day.
Love you, man. You take it easy. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you, bro.